Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again. Aguero! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa! Roma have risen from their ruins!
Welcome back to the Canadian Soccer Recap. Whoa. Welcome back to the On a Yellow Football Podcast. We'll get to the recap soon. Now, Zach, it's episode 26, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's episode 26. Do we have a name?
We can just go with Can Champ, I guess.
Can Champ, Cupset?
Maybe Cupset.
Cupsets? That's pretty good. Because there was a lot of actually cool Cupset games. Obviously, the Canadian Championship was played over the weekend, or the preliminary round, where a lot of the CPL teams playing, even some MLS teams who might have lost games. I mean, TFC did lose. And also some other cup sets of CPL teams losing to sides that play in like the Quebec Premier League or something like that. So pretty cool. I mean, now I always do this at the start of the podcast just to kind of get right into it here. The weather. The weather is looking way better than it was before. Isn't that right?
I mean, it's nice and sunny out now.
It is. It's nice and sunny, and it's warm, which is good. Because was it warm and sunny the last episode? It was kind of like...
I mean, it was warm, I guess.
It was warm, yeah. It wasn't like completely cold or anything, but it wasn't as warm as it is today. It's like, what, 23 degrees today?
I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head.
Something like that. Okay, now, well, with that being said, do you want to start the Canadian Soccer Recap, Zach? You good?
Yep.
All right, so let's start it. All right, perfect. We're done the Canadian Soccer Recap, and that was a pretty good one. I like that one. A lot of things going around the Canadian game. Obviously,
it's an exciting time for Canadians living in England right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm excited to see that, Canadian men's national team player in the top flight. That's going to be really cool, really good for our team in the future. Whether that's Elfie Jones, whether that's Kyle Larin, and whether that is my boy Liam Miller. I wish all of them the best, but I think, they're good. I mean, I think it's going to be cool to see, one of those guys in. Obviously, Elfie Jones has been battling an injury for a majority of the season this year, being out since December. And Kyle Larin just finding his form. I think out of all those players, Kyle Larin is the one that's like really, really good right now. He's really hot right now, scoring a ton of goals for the team of Southampton. Now, what do you want to talk about first, Zach? We got a bunch of things to talk about. What do you want to talk about first?
How about the title-winning El Clasico matchup?
The El Clasico.
That featured a surprise performance, or well, I guess not performance, surprise appearance of Olivia Rodrigo for some reason.
Yes. I saw a comparison between Olivia Rodrigo and Travis Scott, and it was comparing the celebrations of each goal. Olivia
Travis Scott was
Travis Scott was
whipping a towel in circles.
Travis Scott was like absolutely he was absolutely psyched for that game, for that goal, and he showed his appreciation for the team, and Olivia Rodrigo did as well, but in less, I would say, in what's that word I'm trying to get out right now?
A calmer demeanor?
Yeah, a calmer demeanor, less enthusiastic celebrations as Travis Scott. But, that game, it just showed, I think it showed Barcelona's excellence and it showed Real Madrid's problems. And, this is actually the first El Clasico win to clinch the title since the 1931-32 season when Real Madrid beat Barcelona for their title.
I mean, Barcelona's just been like on a different planet this year in the league.
It's actually crazy.
I mean, it's not even really been close, I would say.
You know what their last loss is?
No.
It's 2-1 against Girona on February 16th, 2026. They haven't lost a game, and they actually haven't tied a game in La Liga. Obviously, they lost in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, but they actually haven't lost a game since in the league since February 16th, 2026, losing 2-1 against Girona in a late display, I would say.
I mean, they have a plus 60 goal differential.
It's absolutely nuts.
I mean, they absolutely blow the league out of the water in terms of goals scored and defense currently. They have the most goals scored and the least goals conceded.
Wow. I mean, they have also they could tie their record of 100 points in the La Liga season. So the record, they could. They are at 91. There's 3 games left in the season. They have to win all the games, and they can tie their record, which is tied with Real Madrid as well. It's kind of funny. I was looking at it. Real Madrid got the first 100 points in the 2011-2012 season, and then the year after, Barcelona got 100 points in the 2012-2013 season. And now this Barcelona team is on track to get that level, not having MSN at all.
Kind of crazy.
I know. Not having Neymar, Messi, and Suarez in their prime. This team could make it.
The only team on the remaining schedule that I think could potentially pose a bit of a problem is
Betis.
The Real Betis and Antony.
Antony is the GOAT. I mean,
Betis has turned into quite a team now that they've brought in Antony. They're 5th in the league. They're going to make potentially the Champions League.
Well, they're battling for the Champions League right now. There's only a 4-point difference.
It's between them and Celta Vigo in 5th and 6th, really, for the Champions League. So they're pretty much guaranteed Europe at this point.
Yep.
And I think it's been a great stretch for that club, and Antony has brought so much to that team, and he's kind of becoming a bit of the player that United fans would have hoped they got.
Yes. But I think it's also the league as well. I mean, the league is a different league than the Premier League. The Premier League I think it's a league that is less about being a finesse type player and more being like a system player. If you're a really good system player and a really good striker of the ball, you can do really good in the Premier League.
Well, I mean, Betis' stat line's quite interesting. They've only won 14 games, but they've drawn 15.
Wow. So
imagine, they pick up some wins out of those. And how much farther that team could go. Yeah,
and I mean, if you look at Barca's next games, they play relegation side Deportivo Alves, who are just in relegation right now, and I believe can get out of relegation if they win.
I mean, there's still quite a relegation fight in La Liga. All the way up to 13th from 19th is only a 3-point gap.
Wow. So I mean, they're sitting in relegation, but again, like. You look at the teams that are hungry for that win, even though they're playing at Barcelona. Deportivo Alves, they need to win.
Yeah, big games for all those teams.
Betis, they want to stay in Europe. It's huge. And they also play Valencia, who are 12th right now with 42 points. So again, they want to maintain that spot to maintain them in the league, right? So I mean, it's going to be hard games, but again, if you look at how good Barcelona has been, and just you look at their form in the last 5 games, it's green, right? It is just so cool to see. And I think just Barcelona is that team, right? They are so good in La Liga, and I think it's always them battling against Real Madrid, but Real Madrid right now is seeing some issues.
I mean, I think Real Madrid has to try and figure out their identity a little bit.
Well, yeah, what is happening at Real Madrid right now?
I think there's too many personalities on the team, too many guys who want to be the guy, and I think it causes tension, and it was seen recently, between some of their midfielders.
It reminds me of David Beckham, Roberto Carlos, Zidane, and R9, all of these fantastic players on one team. You have so much people that view themselves as the best that I think, they do need to find their identity, right? I think they need to do, I wrote it in here like a question, but I think they need to do what PSG did, which is transfer out, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, and they've somehow upgraded their attack from those 3 and now see themselves in back-to-back Champions League finals.
Just looking at the teams Mbappe has been on, they have been fantastic teams throughout his career.
Yeah.
but he hasn't really ever won anything.
No.
And, at what point do you look at Mbappe as potentially also being an issue in that?
Yeah, is Mbappe the problem? And speaking about that, there's the Kylian Mbappe to leave Real Madrid petition. I saw the stat line. So the initial target was just 200,000 signatures. It has now reached upwards to 73 million signatures, which is just absolutely nuts. Will he leave Real Madrid? Probably not. I mean, the petition's not really going to change anything.
I mean, I saw another, kind of post today when I was just waiting for my food, and it was, I believe, the Real Madrid president or whatever, and he said he would never leave the club unless he lost, in the elections, and that people make up things like him having cancer, and it really hurts his feelings. And I think, change has to start from the top as well as, the players. And I think,
well, he's been the owner of Real Madrid since 2002.
Well, I don't think, not the owner, like the president.
Oh.
I don't think he owns the club. I think he's just like a high executive board member that doesn't want to, give up that position, despite, the current kind of state of the club, being kind of a laughingstock in some ways.
Well, yeah, obviously there was the fight between Aurelien Tchouameni and Federico Valverde. That the fight was, started as like a verbal fight and actually became physical, where Valverde, according to stories, I don't know how true this is, but apparently Tchouameni pushed him or something, and Federico Valverde hit a table or something. I think that's what happened. Anyways, Federico Valverde had to go to the hospital for something, probably maybe stitches or something like that. But, I think just that kind of getting that bad publicity about your club, of just things happening internally, shows me that you need to change something. Obviously, Real Madrid are the most successful team in La Liga, and they're one of the most successful teams in Europe. They are the most successful team in Europe. So, I think you have to change things in order to move forward, right? And I think that starts with, yes, at the top, but also starts with transferring some of your players that are your big name players, but transferring them for a lot of money and start playing some other players and getting new players to put in that squad, right? Obviously, PSG, they did that. Now they have a front three of Kvaratskhelia, Ousmane Dembele, and Desiree Doué or Bradley Barcola, and they're actually a better team now because the team it's not a bunch of guys that they know they're the best or they're kind of that level of player that they're so good, like an Mbappe or a Neymar or a Messi, right? And I think that it's hurting the squad, like you said, having too much heads in the game, right? There's way too much people that think that they're above the club, and I think that has to change, and they have to have a real big look at themselves as a team and either change right now or transfer out some of your players for extremely high transfer values as they're worth, and rebuild, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at kind of some of the things that Florentino Perez said in the press conference that he had recently.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the quotes was, "They'll have to shoot me to get me out."
Oh.
And he said that he's sorry he's not going to resign, but they're calling for an election. But apparently there's nobody that ever wants to run against him because they're scared of him, apparently. And it's kind of, if there's that fear from people wanting to make change in the club, of the people already in the club, there's never going to be change made.
No. And I mean, yeah, he has been the owner of that club for a while now. And, I think, I just think it's hard. I think for Mbappe to leave Real Madrid, I don't know where he would go. You know what I mean?
It's difficult to say what clubs does it make sense for an Mbappe to go to at this point.
And does he go on a free, just terminates his contract? But they wouldn't want that. They would want him to get the 200 million fee that he's worth, right? You look at it, it's Mbappe had 42 goals and 5 assists this season across all comps. And it's not like he's been bad. He was up there before he got injuries and stuff, and before a lot of the drama happened. I think the other thing as well, I think, with Real Madrid, it's a player problem a owner problem and a team problem as a whole. It's not one of those. It's all of them, right? I think there's something that club needs, and it's like the club got second place, right? But because Real Madrid is such a successful club, and because they had a trophy this season, I think a lot of people are angry right now. Now, I think some of that. There's a couple players that are kind of on that chopping block or are kind of linked to move out of that team, right? And one of them is Tchouaméni, because he's obviously linked heavily with Manchester United as a Casemiro replacement. But, I think it's really hard to tell what really Real Madrid needs. I think they just need a big facelift.
Just looking at, their table positions over the last 9 seasons, they've only won the league 3 of them. They finished third twice and second in back-to-back seasons now. And, for a club like Madrid, that wants to be kind of the face of the league, known as, the best team in the world, you would expect them to win more than 3 in 9 years, I would think.
Yeah.
Especially, when you're this confident in, the president of the club, you're confident you don't need change. But it's clear that the club kind of has taken a step back in the last little while since losing players that, were, stalwarts of that team for so long.
I think there's also as well, management's a big problem.
Yeah, they've been through so many, they've been through a couple of managers now in the last year.
Since Ancelotti left, it was they really needed to find a manager, and they just haven't. I don't think Xabi Alonso really should have been sacked, right? I always think of Real Madrid is the team where you need to have a manager that is, acts like he's above some of the players and, tries to put order, tries to make sure that everybody is not bigger than the club, right? And Xabi Alonso being that player, he was in Real Madrid's squad. He was a starter for them. He knows what it takes to play for that team.
He had a 74% win rate before getting fired. He only lost 2 games.
Exactly.
And then they parted ways with him for some reason.
He lost 2 games. They were not the greatest games, but then they got Arabola on their team.
Who's lost 4.
Who's lost 4 games, and including some dramatic displays and some terrible displays against some teams. And, I just look at that and I'm like, that's not the right manager. But now they're linked with Jose Mourinho, which
I don't think that's the right manager. I don't think that's the right guy. I don't think there is, a certain guy out there that's going to be the man for them.
It's hard. It's like a Man United problem, It's like you're looking for that manager to drive your team forward, right? And you're viewing all of your problems through the manager, even though it's not always the manager that's the problem, right? I think with Real Madrid, it's not always the manager that's the problem. The players aren't playing great. I think it's you got this super team that everyone's expecting to be really good, but again, they can get off their game easily by when they go down a goal or something like that happens, and I think that's what's happening right now. A big plus to Real Madrid, though, is that Jude Bellingham is back. He played in the El Clasico match, and he was kind of a driving force to Real Madrid trying to make a comeback in that game. Now, with Barcelona, right, Marcus Rashford, what a free kick goal that was. It was absolutely so well hit. Now, do you think he's staying?
No.
No.
They said they don't want to pay the $30 million for him.
It's
but
such a
he's been one of their best players this season, so it doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. And also, it's like you're paying a way less price for Rashford that is automatically content with being that the Rafinha type kind of not replacement, but the Rafinha, the guy behind Rafinha, right? So the second-hand man, right? Obviously, he's content with that. He's content on coming off the bench when Rafinha is starting games or going and playing both wings. He can play either wing. He played right wing last game, obviously, because Lamine Yamal was out. And, he's been that guy. And right now, I don't know why they're not triggering that.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to buy a guy that has 15 goal contributions in 16 started games.
For a very cheap
30 million is a steal for a player that's producing at that level.
Exactly.
I mean,
well, for he's going to get. I mean, it's good for, I guess, for Manchester United because we can sell him now for
or he
a
could
ton.
end up staying.
Again, I think
because Carrick, I think, would want to try and get him involved in the preseason, see how things go there.
I love Rashford, but the thing is, it's that dead weight or that Ten Hag kind of era of those players. It was like, we want to remove those players from our squad, like the Antonys, like the Sanchos, like the Garnachos, and like Rashford, to get a new start with a new team, right? I think, to be honest, Rashford at the moment would fit with our team, seeing that we don't really have another kind of winger other than Ahmad, where, we have our front three of Cunha, Shesko, and Mbumo. But, having Rashford and playing him in between all those guys, I think could be good. I mean, he plays similar games to Acuna, being that kind of guy that can make a play but also create one and score one.
I mean, he had a fantastic Champions League campaign.
Exactly. And now
8 goals and assists.
And now we're back
11 games, and now you're in the Champions League. I think it would be beneficial to have a player who played in the Champions League last season that team.
And he loves Man United. And I think he would like Carrick due to the fact that he's played with him, and he understands who he is. He didn't like what am I trying to say? The manager. Oh God, how am I forgetting his name? Not Ten Hag, but the other one.
Ruben Amorim.
Ruben Amorim. Thank you. I'm just completely blanking on his name, but he didn't really like Amorim. So now Amorim's gone. It's a new start. But again, with that new start with Man United, do we want that guy that didn't really play well for us? But I mean
looking at his stats, they weren't they weren't incredible, but they weren't that bad, not really.
That one season, 2022-23.
He had 30 goals and 9 assists in that year.
So good, man.
And then, he had 8 goals and 5 assists in 23-24.
But that was when we got a new manager.
And then he had 10 goal contributions in 24 games in 24-25.
But I think it was a he needed a change. He needed a change from that club. I think I don't know.
He was a good player at Villa. He had 9 goal contributions in 17.
To be honest, we can always try Rashford, right? Like, we have the players that can play if Rashford's not playing well or getting into his head again. We do have those players. And I mean, to be honest, keeping a Rashford isn't the worst case scenario. It's not like Antony coming back or Garnacho where, it's not like the greatest player of all time. Like, Rashford is very good, and he's done really well for Barcelona, won the league with them. Now, another thing, winning the league, João Cancelo has now got a league title in 4 different top 5 leagues. 4 out of the 5 leagues that he's gotten it in, except for Ligue 1. So if he moves to play for PSG for a season so he can collect the Infinity Stones of trophies, he might do that. Now, kind of what a signing that was for Barcelona.
I mean,
in January.
I'm not sure, what happened there at Al Hilal.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly somebody lied to him and said he was going to be part of their team and registered, but they didn't end up registering him for some reason, and then he got loaned back to Barcelona.
And I mean, playing for Barcelona, he won a La Liga with them since January. He's been a major asset to their team. And I mean, look at the leagues that he's won in. He's won the Serie A title, the Scudetto, with Juventus in 2018-19, I believe. And then he went on to win multiple Premier League titles with Manchester City. And then he moved to Bayern Munich to win a Bundesliga title with them. And obviously went to the Saudi League for a little bit and then got loaned back to Barcelona. And he's, 34 years of age?
31.
31 years of age. Okay, I mean, he has a lot of time. Maybe PSG would just get him just to say that they as like a bench option.
I do think he'll probably be the starting left back, maybe right back at the World Cup for Portugal.
Right back,
maybe
not left
right
back.
Yeah, because they got Nuno.
They got Mensch, who's probably the best left back in the world right now. So honestly, Portugal could be a decent team.
I mean, they definitely have the players.
It's goal scoring, I think, because obviously they have an aging Cristiano Ronaldo. And
I think, you can look at who's on, who they have for strikers. And if you play someone like Rafael Leao with Cristiano Ronaldo, I think it could be effective.
they also have
Or Joao Felix
they also
having a fantastic season playing with Ronaldo currently.
they also
at
have
Al Hilal.
they also have Ramos as well. Goncalo Ramos. He's playing for what, PSG now?
He's been on so many teams. He hasn't had a fantastic season.
He is a striker though. I think to be honest, I think for World Cup's sake, you just start Cristiano Ronaldo.
I
think
think
you
you
kinda
start
have to.
Ronaldo with one of Joao Felix or Leao playing beside him, which would allow Bruno to kind of be, the player that he is for Man U.
They have midfield though. Like they have midfield. They have the best midfielders in the world right now.
I don't think they even need to use actual wingers on their team.
They got
I think wing backs would be a good move.
They got
potentially.
Neves, Vitinha, and Fernandes as their midfield,
and Mateus Fernandes.
and and the other
I mean,
Fernandes.
he didn't really play anything for them, but
he probably would make the squad. He's done really well this
I mean,
season.
he got called up in the.
But they
last
also have
window.
what's his name, the Portuguese center mid that's playing in the Saudi league right now.
Ruben Neves.
Yeah, they got
He's
Ruben
a
Neves.
DM though.
They got Ruben Neves. They got the other Neves that's playing for PSG, and then they got
They got Ricardo Moura.
Vitinha and Fernandes. Like their midfield is the best midfield in the world right now. Who's their right wing?
I mean, Pedro Neto.
I guess Pedro Neto.
Trincao,
I guess yeah.
Francesco Contiao.
Yeah.
Goncalo Guedes.
They have a
Left
good
mid,
team.
Ricardo Horta.
And then
Cote,
I'm guessing
and then some of these guys can play both sides.
I'm guessing they're gonna have the Wolves goalkeeper in.
No, they'd have Diego Costa.
Porto. For Porto. Yeah, he's the young guy. He was in
Wolves
there
is
last
probably. I mean, it's either Jose Sa or Rui Silva as the backup keeper there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure who. To
Either
be honest
one.
with you, I think they're both fine options to be backup keepers.
But and then center back wise, where are they going for that? I guess what's his name?
They got
Ruben. The other Neves. Ruben Neves.
I mean, he can play center back. He's listed as a defensive midfielder mostly. They got Goncalo Ignacio,
Yeah.
Renato Vega, and Antonio Silva, as well as Thomas Araujo.
The Simpsons predicted that Portugal would win and make it to the final and win in this World Cup.
I mean, they have such talented fullback pools too.
Yeah, I know.
Mateus Nunes.
According to The Simpsons, the World Cup final will be Portugal versus Mexico.
I mean, Gilberto Mora on Mexico did say that they are the favorites to win the World Cup because it's on their own home soil.
Exactly. And then
I mean, love the confidence, but I don't think it's going to happen.
they're playing in some of the best like stadium venues like I've seen, especially just for the area that they're in. Like
Who's in the group?
Like the one team, who's the team that plays on
they have a winnable group.
Yeah,
They have Czechia, South Africa, and South Korea.
they can win that one.
I think they can win that group if they play their game. And, I mean, it's definitely possible with the World Cup home boost that they could do well. I just don't think that they have the squad to compete with, the top European nations.
Look at the top European nations. We're talking about Portugal here, but look at France. Like France is actually disgusting, their team. Mbappe, they might bring Griezmann in just because of his experience. But they got Mbappe, they got Michael Olise, they got Aurelien Chouameni, Camavinga, they have Thuram, both Thurams, they got Upamecano,
I mean, yeah, just
Saliba.
looking at the Mexico roster, almost every player plays in either Mexico or the U.S.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they have the outliers like Raúl Jimenez, who plays for Fulham, or, some guys that I think play for like Turkish teams or something.
Yeah.
But the entire team is essentially made up of Chivas
Yeah.
and CF America.
Yeah.
Maybe some Tigres players in there too.
Yeah. But again,
And-
home soil advantage is something that we see a lot, though. We see a lot of teams kind of get that. Like, obviously, South Korea did really well when the World Cup was in Korea, or South Korea. And, they did really well. There's
Somehow
some other
Mexico's
teams.
ranked 15 in FIFA.
They're
Seems a
actually
bit
ranked
high.
above us because what are we? We
I
dropped a
think
little
Canada's like 28 or something.
bit. Okay. But, I think the World Cup's going to be interesting. But, like, I am looking right now at France. France is that team. But also Germany. Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala. They're just really kind of lacking a number 9.
I mean,
They got Voltemata and Füllkrug
they have Kai Havertz.
and Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz can play number 9.
True. Voltemata can.
Nicholas Füllkrug.
And Nicholas Füllkrug. But they got Neuer and net.
I mean,
Neuer or
I think
Ter
Voltemade
Stegen.
probably starts at striker.
But is Ter Stegen injured still?
I have no clue.
So it's most likely going to be Neuer because he's actually playing games right now. But they also have, like, if you look at, like, their center backs, they have Schlotterbeck because they don't have Sule anymore because he's retiring because
They
of
got
injury.
Schlotterbeck, Malik Tia,
Yeah.
Jonathan Tah.
Jonathan Tah, yeah.
Rudiger.
Yeah. And then you look at, like, their midfield, like, they got Musiala.
They
and
have so
Wirtz.
many midfielders.
I
They
know.
got Alexander Pavlovich, who
Yeah.
plays for Bayern, Felix Nemecha, Kimmich, Goretzka, Stiller, Statch.
I think Kimmich might play right back.
Potentially. Who else do they have?
Florian Wirtz, Musiala. But Florian Wirtz usually plays left wing for the national team. And then they have Musiala playing cam.
I mean, they got Serge Gnabry apparently on their roster.
Serge
Although
Gnabry.
he's out for the season.
Leroy
Sané.
Leroy Sané could come to.
18-year-old Leonard Carl.
I think Leroy Sané could because he's
I
doing
mean,
really well
he's-
for
he's
Galatasaray right
He's
now.
listed on their roster at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, their striker options are Kai Havertz, Nick Woltemata, and Dennis Undav.
And Dennis Undav is probably the best guy. He's second in the league for scoring for Stuttgart right now. Yeah.
He's got 19 goals in 28 games.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He was only 3 goals behind Kane if Kane didn't score any penalties.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Schade.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they have an interesting team. You know, they have those players that are world class, and they have
Yeah.
those players that were formerly their top players, and I
Yeah.
think that can be a strong team for sure.
Exactly.
I mean,
now, Spain, you got, you got Lamine Yamal. You got, I think they always lack striker options, really. They got Ferran Torres, I would say.
They got Ferran Torres, Borja Iglesias, and Mikel Oyarzabal.
Yeah. I would say, or
I mean,
Murata.
they got Victor Muniz, apparently, from Osasuna.
But then, they got Anaki Williams, Nico Williams.
Nico Williams,
They got Nico Williams.
he's not even on this roster.
Well, they do. He could be injured, but you got Nico Williams.
I mean, he's had a really bad season.
True,
to
but
be fair.
he is a very good with Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez.
Yeah. They also have like the midfield of Pedri, and what's his name?
They got Pedri, Rodri,
Yeah.
Zubamendi,
Yeah, Barcelona,
Danny Olmo,
another Barcelona,
Carlos Soler, former West Ham.
Gavi. They also have Gavi.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then-
on this roster that I'm looking at,
But
they have
who's their right
another-
back now?
Another former Hammer, Pablo Fornals.
Who's their right back? Is it gonna be Carvajal again?
Right back, they have Marcos Llorente, Pedro Porro, and Christian Mosquera.
Probably Marcos Llorente. He's having a beast season right now.
I mean, I feel like there's definitely names left off of here,
yeah.
but I mean, because
Center back rise.
Alejandro Balde.
Yeah. Oh, Balde is left back. Yeah.
I mean, they also have Mark Cucurella.
Ooh, yeah. He
mean,
could be a shout since.
Grimaldo's not really a fullback, even though he kind of plays there sometimes.
Center back wise, they got Lenormand and What's his name?
They have Pau Kubasari,
Oh, Kubarsi, yeah.
Dean Hoyson.
Yeah, they got a young
Laporta.
core, though. They got a really young core.
I mean, Christian Musquera can play.
And then I'm
center
guessing
back too.
Garcia is going to be their goalie, right?
David Raya.
Or David Raya, either one.
I think probably Raya with how he's played this
True.
season. I think he's been the best goalie in the world this year.
I really don't want to see Spain win again because I'm still having nightmares from them beating England in the Euros. But they're a very good team. England-wise, England's looking decent too. We got Pickford. We got, if Reece James is healthy, we have Reece James. We got Trent. I think Trent plays over Reece James right now. Left back-wise, I think O'Reilly's going to play. And then center back-wise, Maguire, I think gets Maguire, Stones, and Mark Gay.
What about Eric Konsa?
Or Eric Konza too.
Or Esri Konsa, I guess. I think
Yeah.
he changed his name then, because I
Or-
swear it was Eric Konsa before.
I swear it was too. But Konza.
Dan Byrne.
Dan Byrne.
Left back, you got Nico O'Reilly.
Let's get right mid. Let's get Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen and Rashford on the other side.
I mean, you got the best striker in the world for sure,
Yeah.
and then a shit backup.
Yeah.
In Solanke.
Yeah. But then we also have if you look at cam wise, we got Eze, Morgan Rogers, or Jude Bellingham.
Apparently Cole Palmer
And Cole Palmer too.
and Phil Foden.
Phil Foden, I don't think because of his influence on the team and his experience, he might get on the team. But based off of seasons, Morgan Rogers has had a better season. But again, it's some things you can say, oh yeah, this guy had a better season, but yet he might not perform on that national team scale versus the other guy who maybe had less of a decent season, but has played a lot of games for the national team in big moments, and that's what Foden has, right? So Foden might just make it on the team due to the fact of his experience. And that team's looking good. What's another top team?
Let's see. I mean, Argentina.
They're not looking as strong though as other teams, even though they do have
Their team's gonna have two players playing for Inter Miami.
Messi, Alvarez, Alvarez up top. They got
The Netherlands.
Netherlands could be strong too.
Brazil's apparently
Brazil,
ranked
yeah.
6th.
Brazil could be strong as well.
Morocco's 8th.
Morocco, yeah.
Belgium somehow is still 9th.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about
Croatia.
the World Cup a little bit. I do want to talk about this though, right? Rochdale. We went from talking about Spain to talking about Rochdale in the National League playoffs.
Little old Rochdale.
Dramatic display.
Rochdale
What a game.
AFC.
What a game.
I mean, I think it was deserved to get promoted.
Boreham Wood scored 2 goals, and I think Rochdale. Well, Rochdale was the second place team,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get in because they lost in that dramatic display in the National League, the last game of the National League between who was the top side that got promoted.
York City.
It was York City versus Rochdale. Rochdale were winning, and then they tied the game late to get promoted by 1 point.
It was a dramatic game.
It was.
Against Boreham Wood.
Yeah.
And against York City.
Yeah, both games.
I think the National League's been very, very interesting this season.
I think the National League in general is always interesting. There's always it always seems to go down to penalties or late drama.
I feel like typically though the first place team is kind of decided.
Yeah.
Fairly early this year. Kind of out
was
of the
very-
blue.
yeah.
Very high-powered offenses on both of these teams that kind of get a ton of points.
Yeah, well there's they were playing in Wembley and both of their supporters packed out Wembley. I was watching the highlights of that game, and it was every goal that Rochdale scored, the limbs of the crowd, it was crazy.
90 plus 7 to tie the game.
It was a header, too,
and
by-
force added time.
By Desiroe or Desiroen?
Emmanuel
Desiroe?
Daiseruve, something like that.
Desiroe, yeah. I think I heard him say Desiroe. But still, he scored a beautiful header, and it was just limbs. But again, it's you see these moments all the time in the championship playoffs, in the League Two playoffs, in this playoff, like it's the best part of this kind of football system is this kind of playoff where those teams get to play in Wembley where they usually don't get to play. It's a beautiful, beautiful atmosphere, beautiful stadium, and just absolute limbs. Like you couldn't hear the commentator. That's how loud the fans were, and they scored 2 late goals, and one in the 78th minute, and then one to tie it in the 90+7. They actually, in the extra time, Rochdale almost scored the game winner. It was a cross in, low driven cross in, and it kind of just the sting of the shot got taken away from it, and it was an easy save for the goalie, but it almost went in, and that would have been Limbs too, scoring 3 unanswered goals to win the game, but they did go to penalties and they won. I think it's just something like it's what we love to see. It's why I love the British football pyramid. I think it's so cool. Just the limbs you can get in almost every single division. There's always gonna be like a promotion. I bet you still kind of feel that in some of the other leagues promoting. Obviously having less fans, but still you could probably hear the noise when they get promoted, and it's a big thing. Obviously Boreham Wood, it's a sad couple of days for them as they have to stay outside of the football league, but Rochdale's in the football league now. So the 2 promoted sides are Rochdale and York. So I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, usually with what's the case is they get promoted and they get like subbed or not, they get relegated, right? So,
well, not recently.
No.
I think a lot of the teams that have come up into League 2 recently have done very well. And I'm pretty sure.
How's Barnet doing?
I don't know about Barnet. I think Barnet is like the one outlier, maybe.
Yeah.
But looking at League 2, Bromley, they were recently promoted. They won the league.
Notts County.
Notts County in 5th. Chesterfield was in 6th. Barnet finished 8th.
Wrexham is in the championship now.
I mean, so many of the teams that have come up in the last couple of years, even last season's Oldham Athletic in 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I think, there's going to be kind of a big shift in teams in the league right now. And a lot of teams that are coming up are staying up and doing very well.
How about Scunthorpe?
Hopefully they can come up next year. I didn't realize that Rochdale had been in the National League for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I thought they were just relegated.
Same. They're a big team in that league. In the National League, it's kind of funny. It's like some teams that you've like never heard of, but there's some teams that used to be very good teams in the English football pyramid, but have been dealt with financial issues or just anything really that made them lose a lot of points and get relegated, and they're all kind of coming back now.
I mean, the League 2 playoffs have some pretty interesting matchups too. You got Grimsby Town versus Salford on one side.
Salford City, yep.
And then Chesterfield and Notts County on the other side.
And have they played those games yet?
Salford won the first leg 2-1 against Grimsby, and Notts County won 1-0 against Chesterfield.
Okay. I want to see Salford get up.
I want to see a Salford Notts County in Wembley, and then Salford to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, Salford's stadium is very small, though.
Their stadium is extremely small.
Notts County has a very nice stadium.
Salford is like
level.
a team that's been, taken under the wing of the class of 97.
I mean, I look forward to their new badge next season. I think it's going to be a fresh look for the team.
Yeah,
back to orange.
They're going back to the orange.
I think it's a very class badge.
It is extremely nice.
It's a very beautiful badge.
I like how they're going back to it too, because the badge they have right now is weird.
I mean, I do like their current badge as well.
It's kind of funny because the lights of their stadium, I'm pretty sure, are in
they are
the shape
of it,
of the logo.
I mean, I've loved their kits. The Fireball sponsor.
They had the Fireball sponsor. It was lit.
But that the new logo just looks so class.
Yeah, exactly.
They still have the lion.
I like how they're going, some of them are going back to a more detailed design.
It's so beautiful.
I know, but they're going back to that more detailed design, right? I think a lot of teams, they went to that minimalist design, and a ton of them are going back to the designs that made their team throughout the years that they had them, and I think it's just really cool to see and something I'm really looking forward to.
I look forward to their kit release for next season.
Exactly.
I think it'll look good on the jersey.
Me too.
I mean, they'll have to change the color of the entire stadium too.
Yeah, I know, but the color orange and black just has something to it that's just so nice.
The entire stadium is red.
Entire stadium's red. The lights are the logo. It's,
I mean, one good thing about the Salford Stadium is that there's nothing around it.
Yeah.
So, if they do, keep finding success, they have space to expand the
Yeah.
stadium. They're kind of just in like a wooded area with nothing around it. So they have the ability to grow the club.
exactly.
And, with the ownership they have, I think, it could realistically happen.
Exactly.
Over the next, 10 years, they could realistically end up in the championship, I think.
Which is something that I think would be really cool because I've always liked the team. Of course, due to their ownership, but Salford City is just a really cool team. I mean, being a Manchester United fan, of course, I'm gonna like kind of Salford City as well, due to its proximity to Manchester.
Yeah, it is in the greater Manchester area.
It is. Now, we got around 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes. Yeah, 6, 7. We got 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, to talk about something I really want to talk about. Goal or no goal, Zach?
I mean, in my opinion, yes, it is a foul.
Yes.
But there's also so much else going on in the box.
Yes. So for
Pablo's being pushed into the goalie.
Yeah.
He's being pulled into the goalie. Yeah, sure, he shouldn't grab the goalie. But if it takes 5 minutes to find a clear and obvious foul, it's not a clear and obvious foul in the box, and it should have counted, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I don't know. You had it was a rough game in the sense like.
I think
a lot of things that went, people would say went Arsenal's way versus went West Ham's way.
I mean, I can't complain, about the game we played necessarily. I think we played a hard-fought game. We played like we wanted to win, and we needed to win.
Well, there was the moment at the end when the goal got disallowed. There was another moment that you could have gotten a penalty, but they didn't even get the ref to look at it. Like the VAR.
Well, it was during like the same kind of thing, and I think it was like Declan Rice or somebody like grabbing Mavropanos from behind.
Well, there was
and,
Mavropanos, and there was also one
taking
for
him down to the
handball. It was
ground.
it was a Wilson shot, and there was like a handball.
Well, that was the goal, and they called that no goal. There was only a goal because of the handball, because I think it was like on the line. And somebody used their hand to stop it from going in, so they awarded it a goal. But then they called it back for the foul in the box on David Raya. And I think regardless of the foul on David Raya, it was a weak attempt from him to get the ball. I don't think he would have caught it even if Pablo wasn't, holding on to his arm.
That's the thing as well. It's one of those things I think for a lot of people it can go either way. People were saying it's one of those hard things where one person could say, yes, it was no goal, but another person could say it was a goal, and both of them could be right. I think with Raya, I think Raya did sell it a little bit. Knew he wasn't going to get the ball. It did do a little bit of a sell so that it could look more like a foul. But, I do also see it's like, I think I heard someone say, if his arm was lower, like closer towards the abdomen of Raya, it wouldn't have been a foul. Right? But because it was so high up that it looked like it would have blocked him, that they didn't give it because of that.
I mean, it's tough to really tell. I mean, there's been so many times where, refs don't even decide to make an option, like make a call like that because they can rely on VAR to look at it and then tell them to go look at it if they think there is some sort of, foul there. And I think, the refs at kind of VAR can take away the magic of a moment like that. A late drama moment, a late equalizer that's a big point in a relegation battle and a title battle.
Yeah.
And, having VAR make the decision that Arsenal's going to win the league doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's the thing is like this could be a league title defining moment. And it's been tainted by a VAR decision. That it's one of those VAR decisions as well. Like, yeah, it's such a big decision. It's not like a VAR decision that it was just like, oh, offside, or it's just like no goal or penalty decision or something. It is a decision that cost West Ham the tie and the draw, and also could mean that Arsenal wins the league. And I think, there's sometimes always going to be moments like this, but I found it kind of funny. Like, I looked on the comments and everyone was saying it was a robbery for West Ham. And I think it's really difficult. It's a really difficult decision for that ref to make, because obviously it's a defining match situation. But, I think the moment itself and the fact that West Ham went back, trying to crawl out of relegation. They went back against the top guys, the top dogs, and they scored that goal. I think it should be given because of the fact that Arsenal let West Ham come back. They let West Ham, score and all that stuff. I think that because of that, it should go West Ham's way, not Arsenal's way. Just due to the fact of where they are in the table too.
Just looking, at similar instances in the season.
Yeah.
Arsenal have done similar things in the box and have been awarded the goal for it.
Yeah.
In the very first game of the season, a very similar thing against Man United.
Yep.
And Alte Bayendir was not able to get the ball.
No, he
and,
couldn't get the
and
ball
they didn't even look
all.
at it.
No, they couldn't get the ball at all.
They didn't even look at it on VAR and awarded it a straight goal.
Yes.
And so many times Arsenal crams that 6-yard box. There's fouls in there, they score, and they never get looked at.
Exactly.
And I think it's difficult to see that happen.
Yeah.
Against your team, and your team does the same thing that they do, and you're not allowed to do it, but Arsenal is.
Exactly, and you can see that. I think based off of where you guys are on the table, that should be one of those factors, especially in something that could be a foul or could be not a foul. Where you are in the Premier League should be a defining factor. If you're a top team with Arsenal number 1, looking to get that title, and you let that team score against you that's in a relegation battle, it should be given to the team that's in a relegation battle. Due to the fact that it wasn't concisive. Like, it wasn't, yes, it's a foul or not a foul or not, right?
Like, after the goal was scored, we kind of stood around for 7 minutes waiting for the decision. I think if you can't find something clearly, obviously wrong with something, in a minute or two, then, you're just delaying the game for so long to make that decision.
Again, right? Before we end this podcast episode here, Arsenal, even if they tied that game, would have still been top of the table.
Yeah, they still would have been in
West
the driver's
Ham
seat.
would have been just out of relegation.
I mean, we're still only 2 points behind, which technically we aren't relegated yet.
We
just need to win both of our next games.
Leeds needs to lock in against Tottenham.
I mean, Tottenham and Leeds did get the draw.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's another point, which made it a 2-point gap.
Yeah.
But,
That's
both
still doable.
Both of the teams we're playing now at the end of the season have nothing left to play for.
Yeah.
We're playing against Newcastle and Leeds, which neither team can be relegated and neither team can make Europe. Play your B teams. Let us win those games and relegate Tottenham.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I think Tottenham getting relegated would be something crazy to see that we were not thinking of.
I think Tottenham still plays Everton.
Yeah.
And Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if either of those teams can technically make Europe.
Everton can, technically.
I mean, both those teams can technically make Europe still.
Yeah. So
they're both on 49 points.
Yeah, so they're fighting for it. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
So I think technically West Ham does now have the easier fixtures to end the season.
So, you can as a West Ham fan can only dream right now and hope for the best for the last 2 games of the season.
But going down would not be the worst thing for the club, I don't think.
There you go.
There'd be a lot of dead weight that leaves.
There you go. All right, Zach, can you do your sign off, please?
Bonjour, au revoir, and have a great rest of your week.
See you later, guys.